I'm glad that I took the time to actually think about what I wanted to say, and it's still going to be a mess. When I originally saw that this topic was coming up, I thought there's so much I can do because I've been struggling with this a lot. And especially like earlier last year, this was a topic that was on my mind a lot because I always wanted to like date, but I never really knew how to. I never felt good about my body. I never felt good about pretty much anything I was all that confident about. So I had like this very like not self hate, but like a very bad self image, and that translated into the way I presented myself. I was terrified of rejection. Yes, so one of the main ways I actually tried to protect myself was by clinging onto crushes that I thought would never be able to turn into anything. But I was really afraid of rejection. I was really like terrified. I think I was also terrified of this turning into something because I was not actually ready for what I thought that meant. And like, I had like a lot of ideas of back then of what dating would mean that I was not really prepared for and was not ready for. So I kind of like manipulated the situation a lot so that it could not possibly turn into anything. After a while, that crush wasn't even on the original person anymore, but like more on the idea I had of that person, which didn't even really exist anymore. So there wasn't a way for me to like really get over this. There were times when I thought I was over it, and then I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'm interested in that person. I was like, no, that doesn't work because I'm still like my heart's still not free. I'm still like clinging on to that crush I had when I was a little kid. And there was a form of self protection, but it also was so toxic and hurt me so much. I was like, again, this started like probably around 2009 when I was like 10. And I did not actually fully get over this until 2016. I kept trying to like kind of like find a way to free myself from that. Yeah, actually, in the end, the whole coming out process, I think, really helped with that. I was so terrified of like putting myself out there that I thought locking myself in and like protecting myself from that was a way to like escape that. Also, just like in general, what I later always did was like on dating apps, not really responding to people, and because I was afraid. There were a lot of reasons I was afraid. And I actually started dating people, and just to be clear here, I'm still absolutely incapable of going up to people, asking people out or anything. That does not happen. But I did start dating last year. I kind of went into that with like very heteronormative ideas of how dating looked, how relationships looked. And it took me some time to figure out that actually I have no fucking idea what a relationship even is. I don't know what any of this is supposed to look like. And that's okay, because that was my first relationship. I don't have to have all the answers. Even if it's my 100th relationship, I don't have to have all the answers, and the answers might change. It was really confusing at some point, even if when I was like, I don't know, like if my feelings are romantic or not, and like, and a lot of the stuff that I figured out is what do I want this situation with this person to look like? What are my expectations? What are their expectations? What is something that like we want to establish together? I also realized that taking things slow right now is probably never a bad idea. After 2 months of that first relationship, we opened up that relationships, and I had some more relationships since then, and parallel to that, and like, yeah, I'm not monogamous and am involved with multiple people and in multiple relationships. Yeah, just like in general, I'm really, which also, by the way, is something I did not actually know back then. I had thought about that previously, but it was always something that was like, yeah, I guess I could see that. But apparently, the queer community is quite full of these people. Being a small queer community, everyone knows each other. leads to some very awkward group dynamics. Just telling you that. I feel like right now I'm at a point where I am clear enough about what I want and like what I am having and like what I'm comfortable with and all of that. Like all these groups have kind of like settled. Everything kind of works now. There's a lot that I did figure out in regards to what I want in terms of like sexual and romantic attraction. I realized that whereas I do like sex and I do want sex, I am actually quite indifferent about it. Which I actually like, I realized that recently. I very seldom am in a situation where I'm like, I really, really want that. If it then like the situation arrives, I'm usually like, oh yeah, now that's something that works and like it's great and all. I would be completely cool with just like cuddling for like basically forever. That kind of came up when like I had a conversation with my mom, and my mom was like, without sex, a relationship wouldn't be a relationship for her, and I was like, for me, it's like so not something fundamental in a relationship. Like anything else is more important to me. I want to like just quickly go into like what being queer means to me, because I use queer as the only label for my sexuality. So I technically could identify as either bi or pansexual, but I don't for several reasons, and also because it does feel kind of limited to me. For me, my sexuality is very vague. I feel like that's also something I've struggled with for a very long time. That I always like you always hear these stories of like you're supposed to be attracted in that way to that person, basically, and that never really worked for me. It was never that I was not at all attracted to people. I am attracted to people of all genders, or at least all genders that I know of. Like sometime I actually thought I was like attracted to people once I kind of like put my mind to it. Like someone told me they had a crush on me, I would then start thinking about them that way. That doesn't always happen, and that isn't like true for all cases. Like that has happened in different ways, which would kind of fall like into somewhat demi-ish, maybe, I don't know. But also just in general, I don't really know what any of these attractions really are. Especially romantic attraction for me is something like, where do platonic feelings stop and romantic feelings start? That's something I really don't know. It's still a mess though, and I still don't think I will ever find a clear definition for that. I don't know, I don't like saying I'm somewhere on the A spectrum. I also don't want to say I'm confused because it's not something I'm actually still actively trying to figure out. It's something that I struggled with a lot in the past because, you're told you should feel that way, and then you're like, what if that's not enough? And like, how do you deal? So we're almost at the end of this video, finally, after so many technical difficulties, and I'm so sorry. Please check out all the other amazing creators on this channel. I love that this channel is growing day by day, and I want you to be a part of this. So click subscribe and leave a comment below. Um, Tell me what scares you about dating. Because I feel like even if maybe not everyone avoided dating as much as I did back in the day, I feel like there's something that scares everyone. I'm still terrified. Even like in some of the relationships that I am right now, there's still things that scare me. That's okay. So let us talk about this and have a nice little chat down in the comments. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And also, make sure to click the notification bell so that you get a notification every time someone from of this beautiful channel uploads a video and you don't miss any of our monthly updates. I love you all, and I see you next month. Bye!